Hey everybody, this is Roberto Blake of RobertoBlake.com, helping you create something awesome today. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, this is a YouTube training / Q&A session. We're going to try and hold Q&A more toward the middle or the end here. For those of you who are not familiar with me, my name is Roberto Blake. I am a creative entrepreneur. I'm the founder of AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com, which does online coaching and training in social media, both for small business owners and for online influencers. I'm very proud of what we've done with the community there. We've got over 100 students in the mentoring group. We've done a lot of great sales of our products like the YouTube Starter Kit and the course, The Formula for Awesome Videos. So definitely really excited about today's training because it's going to be different than our usual live Q&As. Today we're going to be talking about the business model behind YouTube. I'm going to be showing you guys some interesting things and give you a breakdown for your approach. Fair warning. This is not something if your plan is to make $100,000 a year on YouTube specifically, instead of doing what I did, which was build an online business or your own platform outside of YouTube, using YouTube as marketing leverage to build that business, which is what if you're like a coach, a fitness trainer, somebody who's an educator, that's a really practical business model. I built that business to 6 figures this year, so that's what worked for me. But it's not like you can't make a substantial revenue on YouTube if you're a vlogger or entertainer or a different type of channel, but you do have to understand the business model that applies to your niche, and that's some of what I'm going to be doing in today's training and showing you guys some different approaches and things that you should think about practically. I'm going to break down the numbers for you, but if you are a small creator, or rather a small YouTuber, we don't like the word small creator anymore, so if you're a small YouTuber, I don't feel that this training is going to be actionable for you in terms of substance, but it will give you a foundation for what you need to be thinking of in the future, because if you're a smaller YouTuber, you should absolutely be focusing on your content. And I know that it's easy to say, don't worry about monetizing, but make this a hobby that is affordable to you so you don't worry about money, because the sooner you worry about money, the less focus you have in your content, and that could hurt your momentum and hurt your growth, which is going to put you in a position where it's harder to make the money anyway if you're not growing, right? So tackle the first problem first, as you know, we would like to say. So that's just something that you know, I wanted to kind of put out there for you guys, just kind of as a little bit of a, I guess you could call it a disclaimer, to just kind of help you rein in any types of like expectations around this. But I think that one of the most important things I can do for you is also break down something that I covered in yesterday's video. If you have not seen yesterday's YouTube video that I put out on how influencers make their money, I would highly recommend that, because I think that it is extremely practical for you to watch that video to understand different opportunities that are available to you and what they require. And it's a short enough video, so I think you should take a look at that. Today's training is going to probably be for about roughly an hour or so. And I mean, there's a couple of things I want to get into. I want to get into the breakdown of what I think is a practical way to think of making $100,000 in YouTube. And I'm going to be speaking from experience now. I think that there are people who are going to probably want to razz me or rag on me potentially in the comments, or troll me a little bit, to say, well, because they're going to look at my Social Blade numbers and they're going to be like, well, you don't make like $100,000 a year in YouTube because Social Blade says you're making blah blah blah. First of all, Social Blade is great for a lot of things. It's not necessarily always accurate on ad revenue, because it's doing an estimate and it's doing a range, and it's not always accurate. So I wouldn't go judging me off of my Social Blade numbers. And as I said earlier, YouTube is not all about Adsense. If you're relying on Adsense, it's somewhat of a fool's errand. We've had the adpocalypse with people being demonetized. We've had people losing their channel altogether. That's why I built AwesomeCreatorAcademy.com. YouTube goes away. I still have a 6-figure business that takes care of me. I have my speaking career. I have other things. So I, don't put all the eggs in the YouTube basket. But if you don't have the outlet to build a business like that, and right now you're focused on growing your channel and you want to grow it to be very profitable, then I'm going to walk you through some of that in this training, because I'm going to break down, there are more ways to make money on YouTube than this, but this is the most practical way for most people. I don't feel like most people can sell merchandise, so I zeroed that out. And we're not going to talk about other businesses that you can start outside of YouTube and use your channel as marketing, because most of you may not want to do that. I've covered dedicated videos on passive income that have nothing to do with using your YouTube channel, so you could watch those videos here. Subscribe and hit notifications. But this is the kind of thing we're going to get into. But real quick, I want to address some of our chat stuff before we move forward, and I also want to cover today's sponsor. So let's go ahead and let's see what we've got going on here in the chat. And I can probably ditch these headphones for now. I don't think I need them right now. So Zag, thank you for the super chat. Love your stuff, Roberto. Bought the starter kit and such already. This is from the TOS read that you did that I missed live. Thanks, man. $15 or so, but very late here in Denmark, so I'll watch the replay. Thank you so much. We'll see what I start doing with the replays. It's possible that what I might do with the replays, I might start unlisting them. YouTube is doing some interesting things algorithmically that I'm looking at. I don't think it's the hugest problem for what I'm doing, but I'm considering potentially unlisting live streams that don't get 5,000 views or more, just because it could be negatively impacting the channel somehow. So guys, make sure you're watching the live streams and bookmark the URL, because I'm not going to private them or delete them, but I might unlist them. So let's see. Now, the other thing I will say is, if you are a small YouTuber, but you have a keen business mind or a niche for business, you can build another business and it can be successful, and you don't have to rely on YouTube sponsors and affiliate revenue. Like what I did with Awesome Creator Academy, it's like very lucrative for me. So what I do, and this is not to just show off or anything, but it's to make the point that you can do really well with stuff outside of YouTube. So I would definitely make sure you're paying attention to things like that, because not everything is about YouTube AdSense. And I don't like creators focusing on AdSense because it's unreliable. So let's dive in and let's unpack this a little bit in terms of this training. Actually, I don't need these headphones right now. AdSense. So if we're going to break this down to $100,000, I would say that if you can reliably grow your channel to the point to where you're making $25,000 a year on AdSense, and you do $40,000 a year in sponsorships and brand deals, and you do 35% in affiliate marketing, $35,000, then I think you're off to a healthy start. When I was an Amazon affiliate, I was using Amazon, and I was selling things like camera gear and laptops and things like that through my Amazon affiliate links. Now I'm doing B&H Photo Video. I feel like they have a better payout. With Amazon, when I was pushing that a little bit, I was doing about $1,500 a month. So I was doing maybe about $20,000 or so a year. Not bad at all. $18,000 to $25,000 a year isn't bad. And so I was making roughly what you would consider to be that, or within range of this. Now, I had other affiliate programs, and now I do currently still have other affiliate programs, so I do really well with affiliate, and I would probably say that I make on average between $5,000 to $7,000 a month on affiliate marketing. So it's not too bad. To do 6 figures period on YouTube, if I break out the calculator, or just in general, if you look at $100,000 and you broke that up into 12 months, you have to make about $8,333 and 33 cents every single month. So you don't even have to make 10K a month, to be honest. You have to make about roughly, $8,500 a month, and then you're on the path to doing 6 figures. You're on the path to doing $100,000. So if I think about it in those terms, then it's not too bad. So if we look at $25,000 a year in AdSense divided by 12, then we're talking about making an average of $2,000 a month on AdSense. Now, I'm not going to get into how many views you need to accomplish that, because that varies from channel to channel. So $2,000 to $3,000 a month puts you in a good safe range for making 25 to 30% of what you would need in order to clear $100,000. So, you know, that's really practical if you think about it. From the affiliate side, 35,000 a year divided by 12 is closer to $3,000 a month. Still not bad, 2,900. So 3,000 on affiliate a month. Okay. And then 40,000 in brand deals. If we divide this by 12, then that would mean, all right, you'd have to do a $3,500 or $4,000 brand deal every month. However, that's not entirely true, because with sponsorships, what I want to break down for you, because this makes up the largest portion, with sponsorships, I'm not saying you have to get to a point where you can charge $3,000 per sponsorship. I'm saying that you have to do that in brand deals as a whole every single month, and the best way to approach that is to create a $5,000 package. If you create a $5,000 package and you are able to find a way to do a $5,000 package every single month, and then you create also a $3,000 package, if you sell one of your $3,000 or $5,000 packages or one of each every single month, you're going to be just fine. And that's what a lot of people don't do. Now, $3,000 to $5,000 package doesn't necessarily mean you do one video for $3,000 or $5,000. Many of you are not going to be able to do that. Even if you have 100,000 subscribers or more, you're not necessarily going to be able to charge that per video. So you're going to have to do something like possibly do a couple of videos or a series, or use some of your other social media, build up your Instagram, do things like that. So what I would say is, if you build a package, you're much more likely to be able to do the $3,000 to $5,000 a month on these brand deals that you would need to do in order to make up the majority of that revenue that we talked about. If you're going to hit $40,000 a year as a minimum, or if you need to make up the difference if you fall short on Adsense or on affiliate marketing. So that's one of the most important things that I can bring up in this discussion, is the packaging of brand deals, right? So if you package these brand deals and you do something like, okay, well, for $3,000, I'll do like 2 or 3 dedicated videos, plus these posts in Instagram, plus whatever other social media augmentation, then it's easier to get that deal. If you do something like, you know, 3 videos or 4 videos for the $5,000, then it's easier to get that deal, right? So if you break that up and you do those things, then it's an easier thing to do. If you set up something where you become a brand ambassador and you get them to pay you $1,500 a month for whatever you're doing as a brand ambassador, well, in the 12 months, you make up $18K from that particular deal. So if you get 2 brand ambassadorships, well, you've made up $36,000 right there with 2 brand ambassadorships. That's almost $40,000 right there. So again, that's another way to potentially approach that. So that's something that you could look at as another way of making that $36,000 a year that we're talking about. So if you then combine that with the fact that if you were able to do that $25,000 in AdSense, you have $2,000 or so a month, then you're already at $61,000. Now, affiliate marketing, I don't necessarily think that you do, $35,000 in Amazon alone. I think that you would need other affiliate streams. My favorite affiliate stream is actually today's sponsor, TubeBuddy. I have a discount code for you guys in the description down below for TubeBuddy. Use discount code Roberto's Buddy when you go to tubebuddy.com/awesome, and you'll get 20% off any package. TubeBuddy's today's sponsor, and you can actually use TubeBuddy for productivity, bulk processing, video SEO, data research. It's a tool I use all the time. It helps me know when my best time to upload is. It helps me with A/B testing on my thumbnails, and it's just the best overall tool and plugin for growing your YouTube channel. So make sure you're checking out our sponsor, TubeBuddy, tubebuddy.com/awesome. Use the discount code Roberto's Buddy. They'll give you 20% off on any package. So you see what I did there? That was a sponsor plug for TubeBuddy. I do sponsorship with them. I am a brand ambassador, and I also do affiliate sales with TubeBuddy. And the affiliate sale commission on that is very nice. What I would recommend is that you guys look into affiliate programs that match your niche and find affiliate programs that either pay high percentages or pay flat rates. Primary example, Bluehost. Bluehost gives my community a massive deal when they want a website. I put a link in every YouTube video to it. I mention in a few YouTube videos. I write articles, and every time somebody buys a Bluehost website, I get an $85 or more commission. The same thing with Wix.com. I get a $100 or more commission. So these are great flat rate affiliate deals for me that help me make thousands of dollars a month. So if that's the case, then this puts you in a very favorable position. If you have these flat rate affiliate deals, then it's easier for you to make more money and to make the kind of money that we're talking about here, to do about $35,000 to kind of break up this 100K. So that would look like about $3,000 a month. So let's assume that you did a flat rate thing. If it's $3,000 a month that we're talking about, and you did flat rate $100 commissions, you'd need to do 30 commissions that are the $100 flat rate to do the $3,000 a month every single month. 30 commissions a month isn't bad if you're getting $100 a commission. That gives you $3,000 a month. For a lot of you, that pays your bills and your rent right there. It's a salary for somebody. And then for the year, that's going to turn out to that $36,000 a year that we talked about in affiliate revenue. By having multiple affiliate streams, you're going to be able to make up that money a lot easier. Not all of them will pay out $100. Some of them will pay out $30. But, you know, even then, yeah, $30, it means you had to do 100 sales, but it's passive. And you don't have to do it on just that $30 product. Like I said, you can mix it up. And there are some things that do commissions. Now, again, I see a lot of you in the chat, and you're focusing on AdSense and how many views. Social Blade does these estimates, and they're not accurate. And there's no point in trying to figure out how many views you need to get in order to make X amount of ad revenue, because it changes every month. You don't control it. It's different for every channel. It's different for every niche. Stop worrying about AdSense. It doesn't matter. I'm sorry. I hate saying that. I know that a lot of people think about it, or it's their main source of income, but it's like AdSense. The problem is you don't control anything about AdSense. Here's the problem with AdSense. I have like a whiteboard over there. You don't control the amount of ads available. You don't control what ads show up on your channel, and you don't control how much those ads are worth. Those ads are determined by your niche and your demographics, so you don't know how they're rating that. It's determined by what country your viewers are in, so you don't control any of that. You don't control which ad tier you're ranked in. You don't control whether or not you're demonetized. You don't control whether or not your views are monetized, because not even how many views you get, it's how many monetized views you get. And you don't control which ad types show up in your videos, okay? So since you control none of that, you don't control AdSense. You don't even control how many views you get. How many views you get isn't even up to you. So there's no point in worrying about how many views you need to get to earn X amount of money. There's no point in even thinking about it. There's no point even running those calculations. What I'm doing here is, again, I'm thinking about the fact that if you're a YouTuber in good standing and you have a community and you've built a large enough channel, there's a good chance that if you built a large enough channel and you've built an inventory of videos that at least are monetized, then in theory, maybe you're doing $25,000 a year in AdSense if you're at maybe 100,000 subscribers or more. Now, here's the thing. If you're not, and let's say you're only making $15,000 a year in AdSense, well, all of a sudden these numbers change, and you have to hustle, considerably harder on brand deals and affiliate. And here's the reality. Most YouTubers I know, they don't even prioritize and focus nearly enough on affiliate at all. So when it comes down to it, they don't do nearly enough. I focus a lot on affiliate. Like affiliate takes very good care of me. But A lot of creators don't prioritize it. Most creators that I know, they get majority of their money from their sponsors. They get brand deals, and that's what takes care of them. Most creators, the way it looks is closer to this, probably. Give me 1 second. It's actually probably closer to about that. I would say this is probably most creators on YouTube. Most creators on YouTube that make a living on YouTube, this is what it would look like. Or you could flip AdSense and affiliate to being something like this. That's how most creators on YouTube roll. We have a question from Alex. Alex, I can't talk about taxes because you have to get an accountant. The way the law works in the U.S. is I can't give you tax advice. You have to just get an accountant. For everybody, now and forever, if you're going to ask about taxes, the simple answer is get an accountant. Simple answer, get an accountant, because I can't tell you anything. So here's the problem with this business model, though. Here's the problem with this business model of prioritizing sponsors. Not everybody can get sponsors, and not everyone can negotiate a good deal, and not everyone is very business savvy. So if you are not a great negotiator, which I'll have a video about Monday, you'll definitely want to watch. You'll want to watch this on Monday. I'll go over the art of negotiating. But if you're relying on sponsors, that's a problem. Here's the other problem. There are the YouTubers who aren't doing that are doing this. They're relying 65% on their AdSense, not doing nearly enough with affiliate, and they're doing some stuff with sponsors. So they have very little control. They have very little control. And that's a huge problem. It's a huge problem. So I don't love that business model for people at all. At all. Because if YouTube decides to, kill their channel, then they lose 65% of their revenue, and that's bad. If the algorithm changes, they're not going to be able to get nearly as many sponsor deals, so that kills them. And this is how channels, no matter how big they are, this is why they're vulnerable. This is why they're vulnerable. Now, the good news is if your audience is buying things, then you are in a much better position, because if you go with something that, again, is closer to this, then you're safer by far. This is a better balance. This is a better balance, because it means if you're doing $35,000 a year on affiliate marketing alone, then that's enough to definitely pay your bills, because you're selling stuff and people are buying through your videos. So as long as you keep making videos, you'll keep selling things. So it's okay, which means, unfortunately, even if you lose your AdSense, you'll still at least be able to make a living, and then your sponsors will give you that extra money that's helping you, as long as you don't take your lifestyle for granted. So hopefully you're living modestly, and that $35,000 a year takes care of you, and you don't scale to where your lifestyle includes the AdSense money. So that's what I would consider this to be a healthy place for YouTubers to potentially be. I would like to see more YouTubers leverage affiliate a lot more and work out their own deals. I would really like a lot more people to really just not rely on any of this at all and move to something more like this, where 50% of your money comes from your business, and maybe 10%, 15% of your money comes from AdSense. A good 30% of your money is coming from affiliate deals, or something like that. Like something maybe even closer to, like, I don't want to say maybe 10, 30, 50. I would say this is the model that I like better for people. To be very real with you, I would prefer this model for people. This model here, accounting for scale, which I'm not going to tell you how much I make, but this breakdown would probably be a little bit closer to my stuff, I would think, give or take. Nah, it's actually probably a little off. There's probably a little bit more. AdSense is probably 15% for me or something. But yeah, this is probably close-ish. But I would prefer that more people use this breakdown, but most people are not going to build a $50,000 or $100,000 a year business outside of YouTube. That's my preference. Awesome Creator Academy does very well for me. The products and services over there are reliable. I can do that independently of YouTube. Thankfully, YouTube becomes a marketing funnel. My podcast is about to probably start doing a lot more when I am consistent on it, and so that'll make it more independent. Doing a little bit of stuff with Twitch will probably be interesting. So there's more Facebook and Instagram. So again, I would say that this is probably the healthiest breakdown and business model that somebody could do, where 50% is like, and I should preface this with saying non-YouTube, non-YT business. A non-YT business. If you have a non-YouTube business, then, and you use YouTube as marketing, this is healthy. And then the rest of this could be YouTube. And then you'd be safe. But again, most people are not going to do that. Most people not going to do that. And so they're going to end up probably, the best case scenario, again, like I said, is for them to go more like this. And then that's what most YouTubers could do reasonably and be okay. Now, here's the good thing with affiliate programs. If you go into affiliate programs, I've done some videos on affiliate marketing, I've done videos on passive income. If you go and you do that, what happens is there's no barrier to entry really for affiliate marketing, and your sales are your sales, and that's just kind of the end of it. So you can make really good money, and I've done that. Like I said, a low month on affiliate is probably 5,000. A good month will be like 7,000 plus, and you can do that. With sponsors, it's hit or miss. I worked out some brand ambassador deals that do a couple grand, so I'm really healthy over on that side too. And then after that, I have my AdSense stuff, which is usually closer to double whatever Social Blade says it is. So a focus on AdSense is asking for pain and heartache and anxiety. Now, I know some people are talking about Patreon. Patreon is great, but I don't think it's as reliable, depending on your content sometimes. It's good to incorporate it, but I would think of that as a tip jar, and I wouldn't count it in how you break out your overall business model, because it's very hard to be successful with a Patreon campaign compared to doing other things. So I think that Patreon is Patreon's good, but I love Patreon. I love what they're doing, but I just don't feel that you can make it part of your pie chart, to be honest, because it should be a tip jar and it should be thought of that way, just from an expectations standpoint. I would say you're better off if you think of it as a tip jar. So I'm looking at some of your questions here. AdSense is definitely unreliable. Yep. Absolutely. Why would someone dislike this? Haters are going to hate. That's probably why. So yeah, we're 30 minutes in here. I'm going to get a little bit of this ginger ale. For some of you, we're going to play an ad right now. Now, when it comes to merchandise, merchandise is awesome. If you're above 10,000 subscribers, YouTube has integrated merchandise directly into your channel, what they call a merch shelf. I designed a cool couple of stuff here with Teespring, just for people, who want to check that out. I'm going to drop that link here in the chat and in the description. Now, merchandise is something that your community can directly, buy from you and is an investment with you. The margins are not what you might expect, because even on a $20 or so shirt, you're making like $5. You're making $5. Now, here's the good news. It's easier to design a t-shirt with Teespring or Spreadshirt or whoever and make $5 than it is to write a book. Writing a book takes forever. You usually put a little bit of money into writing that book. Then you still have to sell it, and you're making the same $5. If you're a business person, writing a book is great for you for speaking engagements and for press and interviews and podcasts and all those things and your street credibility. But you'll make the same amount of money selling a t-shirt from one of these sites as you would if you wrote a book. Not even kidding. So you can use Teespring, Spreadshirt, Redbubble, designed by humans, Zazzle, Cafe Press, whatever you want. I don't care. Whatever one will fit your needs and does things the way that you want or is easy for you. Some people do Teespring. I've done everything almost, but like Teespring at least is directly integrated into YouTube, so that makes things easier. I like how easy they make it for sales to have a portion of proceeds go to charity. 10 to 25% of my shirts, the proceeds go to charity. So I like that. The thing with merch is it depends on whether your audience will support it and how much money they have to support it. But you'd be better off with your audience donating that same amount of money to you directly, either through Patreon or Super Chat or PayPal or whatever, because you don't get that $23. Like I said, the $23 shirt, you get $5 or $6 on it. So I would rather that you figure out a way to get $20 directly from your audience than end up with that $5 out of the 20. So that's why I would probably approach that that way. Tonice, I'm not going to answer bank account questions. My advice to you is to read the book, Start Your Own Business, 6th edition, if you want advice on setting up the legal side of your business, the banking and financial side, the tax side, because again, I'm not a certified public accountant, so the government doesn't want me to talk to you about that. And I'm not dealing with them, and I'm not dealing with the nonsense, so I'm not going to answer questions about taxes. I'm not going to answer stuff about setting up multiple bank accounts because I don't like to deal with the government. And they have all these regulations about who can say what about whatever, so I'm just not dealing with it. And I'm sorry if I'm sounding snippy with that particular answer. It's a huge pain in the butt, that whole thing. So buy the book. I've in my business videos that I've talked about, business stuff, I've often recommended the book, Start Your Own Business 6th edition. I highly recommend that if you guys are watching this stream right now, that you don't only watch whenever I put YouTube in the title, stop just watching when I put YouTube in the title, watch the content on business and entrepreneurship, because it's going to make your life easier. It's going to make your life better. So, you know, Frankie, Johnny, like, when you live stream for a couple of hours and when your, like, air conditioning unit is on the fritz, you can do your live stream your way. I'll do it my way. Thanks. So, yeah. Anyway, moving on. So I'd rather the $23 with the $5 profit on the merchandise, I'd rather you try to acquire that in donations and super chats and things of that nature. And then I would go in that direction because it's going to just make things a little bit more profitable for you to go that way. So, like I said, there are things that there are things that you're just not allowed to talk about when it comes to certain parts of setting up a business because the federal government regulates certain things that they want people to be licensed to talk about, like lawyers and certified public accountants in terms of giving certain types of legal or financial advice. So again, you guys want to go deal with the federal government, you can talk about it on your channel. Unless you're licensed. That's my advice. You want to know how to do those things, you can Google search it just like I did. You can go to LegalZoom.com. You can go to irs.gov, and you could buy the book Start Your Own Business 6th edition. Buy that book. That book will save you a lot of headaches if you're not business savvy. That's your answer. And Fiberific's right. Every country has its own taxation and business rules. In fact, even at a local level, there might be rules regarding having a business license. So again, it would be, not helpful to even talk to you about that because it probably won't even apply to you just based on where you live. Anyway, let's get back to talking about money, something that actually matters. This breakdown is the most realistic approach overall, but the issue is that if you do affiliate marketing, you have to find affiliate deals that fit your niche, fit your audience, and you'd have to be comfortable selling to people, which is why most people don't do this and they rely on Adsense instead. Also, with brokering the brand deals, not everyone has a niche that fits the brands, and again, you have to be big enough to attract sponsors, or you can go to famebit.com. Famebit.com has deals, but you may not be good at pitching, so writing proposals is a whole nother skill set. So this is why most YouTubers, as much as some of us are critical about it, the reason that people rely on AdSense is because they're lacking some fundamental skills that would allow them to move beyond AdSense. It's hard to move beyond relying on YouTube AdSense if you are in a niche that doesn't have the opportunity for a lot of sponsorships or well-paying ones. If your channel isn't large enough, you can't attract well-paying sponsorships. If you are not comfortable negotiating, you're not business savvy, operating and doing those brand deals will be very difficult. And not everyone wants to get an agent. An agent can do it for you, but an agent's also going to take anywhere from 10 to 20% on every one of those deals, which is fine because you weren't going to make any of that money if you didn't have the agent, so them taking 20% of something is better than you keeping 100% of nothing. So that's fine from my opinion. Getting an agent, you can, again, do Google searches. You can find out who friends or other YouTubers are using. It's usually in their About section if they have an agent, or who to contact for deals. There are agencies out there that you can find, talent agencies, but that's also why some YouTubers join a multi-channel network. Sometimes a multi-channel network acts as a talent agent to broker brand deals. Now, again, they usually do that for their biggest talent, and they play favorites and they prioritize. And from a business standpoint, they should, but that may not be in your favor, or it might. So you have to look at your own situation. Again, because it's hard to get brand deals, because you either have to be a hustler or you have to get people to help you, and you have to be able to pitch it well, people may not be able to do those sponsorships and make a lot of money off of it because they lack those skills or that network or those resources. Affiliate marketing, you'd have to be good and you'd have to build a rapport with your audience, and they'd have to be willing to buy something, and they'd have to be in alignment with whatever the product is, and you'd have to be good at selling them. So that makes it very difficult for most creators who want to do affiliate and passive income that way, because they're not salespeople, or they don't want to necessarily do product reviews. They don't always want to do product reviews, so that makes it a challenge if you don't demonstrate a product, or if you don't talk about it enough or showcase it in your videos, or it's not something you're using. Then the issue becomes it's hard to do large enough affiliate sales to make a living off of that. So again, what happens is, because most people are not good at the things we just stated, they're not good with this, so maybe, you know, they do a couple of brand deals and that's the best they can do. Maybe they do a little bit of affiliate marketing because that's the best they can do, and they end up like this. They end up with 75% of all of their money coming from AdSense. If they're doing any sponsors at all, any affiliate at all, it's partially, it's paltry compared to what they do at AdSense. It makes up the majority. I never liked that idea, so I avoided that at all cost. I never liked that idea, so that's why I didn't do that. That's why I built a business that's outside of YouTube. That's why I sell my own products and I sell my own services, and why I think that model makes sense. AdSense, you can be demonetized. YouTube can strip you of AdSense. You could fail to qualify for it. It's a problem. But that's why you end up in these situations where people do that. Even if they incorporate merch in here or Patreon, it still ends up only all adding up at the end to maybe 30% of their revenue, and then they just end up with 70% still being AdSense. I mean, that's just how it works out for the far majority of creators. So even if they did something like this, because they were good at selling merch, their niche didn't fit affiliate as much. The merchandise, they're good at selling it, but they're not making a lot of money on those margins of it, because they're not, they don't make that much off of each sale. And then due to a couple of brand deals, they end up living off of AdSense. And so they keep doing things to be as popular or as big as possible because they need the AdSense money, because that's the only real money that they can make. So it's a very uncomfortable business model, but you can see why people end up in that situation. Has a lot to do with what their skills are. Their skills are usually geared in entertainment and not in running a business and not in selling. Usually to build a big audience, people have to entertain first, and it's very hard for them to incorporate any other type of business, which is why the anxiety around that type of YouTube channel. People who do other things like education and fitness and all of that have much better opportunities a lot of the time when it comes to both sponsorships, affiliate, and running an outside business, and thus they're able to offset their income and do a better overall business model. And so, that's the breakdown here of what it takes. So one way or another, if you want to make $100,000 on YouTube, you have to figure out what within your skill set allows you to make $8,333 a month. You have to figure that out, because that's the breakdown. So I would say that if you have the right approach and you are able to directly sell your own products and make that kind of money, then you absolutely should, and be independent of YouTube and use YouTube either as a creative outlet or as a marketing funnel or as a side hustle. Now, if you want to make that money strictly on YouTube, I would avoid trying to make the majority of it on AdSense and not diversify. I would diversify into these other things. And if your niche doesn't lend itself well specifically to affiliates, then you have to ruthlessly pursue sponsorship deals. And if you're an entertainer, I would say you have to get really good at merchandise. And while I don't necessarily love this breakdown, if you're an entertainer, this breakdown is probably more accurate. And I would say that it's a survivable model, assuming your AdSense doesn't completely go away. And even if it does, you probably would be uncomfortable, but you're not dead in the water if this is your breakdown. So that's what I would say is probably the safest way to approach this and to think about it. Now, my approach, again, because I've done these things, was to do everything that I could and rely as little on AdSense as possible, but to build my own business. So I built awesomecreatoracademy.com, and I set up a mentoring program. We have almost 100 members. I grandfathered the early adopters in at a lower price, but we do that at $59 a month. And I teach small business owners and influencers how to use social media and how to monetize it properly and market themselves. There are people who want to do one-on-one 90-minute sessions with me, so I charge for that. I have a course called The Formula for Awesome Videos to help people get better at their on-camera presence, knowing their camera gear, knowing their settings, knowing how to research their videos and create a structure for them, knowing how to build a system so that they can produce videos consistently and for different formats, and also some of my secret sauce for what I use to make videos and make them come out well. I do the paid one-on-one YouTube channel reviews. These are 30-minute reviews, and that's something I charge for. I'm developing another course here. And of course, we have the YouTube Starter Kit. The YouTube Starter Kit is my flagship product. And there's a discount code for you guys in the description. It's a temporary code, small YouTuber, and it will get you a discount. You'll want to take advantage of that now before that coupon expires. But for 99 bucks, less for you guys on the live stream, discount code in the description, you get these YouTube templates. These are Photoshop templates. If you don't have Photoshop, you don't want to buy it, go to photop.com, spelled photop like peas, photop.com. This is a good hack. Photop.com is free Photoshop, and it's browser-based, so it doesn't matter if you're on Mac, PC, or Linux, it's browser-based. You can open up Photoshop files. Okay, so you go to photop.com. photopea.com. So if you open these up in Photoshop or Photop or whatever, Affinity, if some of you have that, you can customize these templates, not just for YouTube thumbnails, which you have 70 different templates, but you also have like a dozen templates for YouTube channel artwork. We've got YouTube end cards, and this is full screen channel artwork, so it even works on the television. And you know, you got 160 downloads for less than $99 with the coupon. You also get some free music. You get links to all the free music you can get royalty free for YouTube, plus 10 tracks that my friend hooked us up with. You get a list of the best free fonts, 100 plus. So YouTube Starter Kit is the main product that we sell through Awesome Creator Academy. It's done very well, tens of thousands of dollars in sales. And like I said, I broke out products and services, and that's what makes me successful even if YouTube goes away. We're launching a Twitch graphics pack. We're launching an Instagram graphics pack, and also a course on public speaking. Most of those will be out by the end of the year. So those are going to be some extra products that we add in there. It's going to be good. Probably by the summer of next year, there will be 12 products in Awesome Creator Academy. So that's a approach I use to diversifying my revenue streams and building a secure business outside of YouTube. So if any of these products or services fit you, go to awesomecreatoracademy.com. I've linked a discount code for the YouTube starter kit for you guys, which is discount code small YouTuber. If there are people interested in the public speaking course, it's almost done being developed actually. I'm going to actually bring some people on at a massive discount to test it for me and to give me some feedback before it launches in the fall. So people interested in the public speaking course, definitely talk to me about that in Twitter. And we'll be able to get you into kind of a beta of the public speaking course, see how you like it, and see if it works for you, get your feedback, make the course better for everybody. Will I be at VidCon next year? I think I will. I'll definitely be as an attendee. I believe they're going to invite me back to speak. I'm not at VidCon Australia because I'm speaking at Video Marketing World. So I was invited to VidCon Australia to be a speaker, but I had to decline because I had a prior speaking engagement. And I'm also going to be at DragonCon on several panels this year. So, so that's what I would say. So I'm looking here at the chat. For those of you wondering, I'm using Wirecast to stream for my system for Awesome Creator Academy. I use Kajabi. So Kajabi is the platform that I use. Yep, so looking at your chats here, thanks for the feedback. Yeah. So ultimately, that is more or less the breakdown here on what I did to be successful in YouTube, and I've broken down a few different business models you can approach for doing 100K. I showed you some of my back end and a practical way to think about YouTube moving forward. It's not all about AdSense, and AdSense is unreliable for a number of reasons. So I just think that many of you should look at exploring diversifying your revenue as much as possible and really look at what the breakdown and the percentages are going to be and look at how much you would need to make to have a comfortable lifestyle. Not everyone's going to do 100K on YouTube, and that would be unrealistic, but figure out what you would want to make YouTube profitable and worthwhile for you, and then do the breakdown and do the economics using some of the advice and information that I gave you, and I think that that'll be extremely helpful for the far majority of you. Now, my approach to YouTube is I use it to diversify as many revenue streams as possible. I use it as a marketing funnel for my products and services. It's been very good to me in terms of helping me build an online business, even independent of YouTube. And so that works out really well for me. It's got me great relationships with sponsors. I'm working on a couple of really significant brand deals right now, and I think that they're going to be great relationships. There are a lot of other things that YouTube is offering. YouTube offers super chats. Some of you have supported the channel through your super chats. YouTube's offering channel memberships. Some of you are supporting that way. So all of those things are great, but there's still things within YouTube that they control all of that, and since they control all of that, it's unrealistic to rely on it. Fiberific, maybe. So in the meantime, let's take some of your questions. Let's look at what we can do to clear anything up for you that you still are unsure about or doesn't make sense. So we'll take questions. I want to keep these as specific as possible to what you're struggling with and what you're trying to do regarding not growing a YouTube channel, but being profitable. So let's do that. Jabriel Jones says, "What's up, Roberto? Really appreciate the value. I'm not a creator yet. I'm currently working on my own line of hats, but this is definitely an eye-opener for how I should use the platform." Nice. Good to know. Good to know. Ted Time says, "Do videos get recommended solely on watch time, or likes or comments, engagement matter as well? Do they matter more?" Reference Daryl Eves' videos on the YouTube algorithm for that. Susan Jackson, hey, I was late. Did you say that the beta discount public speaking course will be out and where to find it? For that, message me over in Twitter. DM me in Twitter at Roberto Blake if you want to get into the beta of the public speaking course. The beta is not ready yet. But I want to know who wants to be in on that so that I can give people an early bird discount to help me test it. So you'll get full access and you'll get it early and you'll get to help me kind of refine it, tweak some things. So just hit me up on that. But I really want to get that out for the fall so that people can start preparing and marketing themselves. So as they go into 2019, they can start positioning themselves for more speaking engagements or gearing up for that and doing the groundwork, laying that foundation. So I'm going to try and get that out for you guys for fall. Program with Eric says, when do you think a YouTube channel should start thinking about outsourcing editing or thumbnail creation? When it becomes impractical or when it becomes affordable for you to do so is my answer to that. Brickhouse Mojo says, my YouTube channel is growing. However, the videos that are soaring are the ones that are copyright, meaning I can't monetize them. Regular videos barely get any views. You gotta find a way to do content that gets views that isn't subject to copyright. If you're using copyright music, stop. Like, you know, figure out a way to go fair use. Ted Times, discoverability is important as a small creator starting off, so which would you focus on more, appearing in search results or getting recommended? It depends on your age and demographic. There's not a silver bullet for that. The answer is to make the best content you can, package it as well as you can, and make it something that is clickable. It's really straightforward. It's down to, if you are doing education, yeah, make it search friendly. If you're doing entertainment, then you have to make it click worthy. You know, it's not super complicated, but you do have to think of context. JW says, what merchandise do you make with a company that gives a decent royalty payment? There's not really such thing as a decent royalty payment. If you make $20-something t-shirts, you're going to make $4 to $6. That's just the way it is. It doesn't matter who you go with. That's going to be the way it is. Kit Slams Art says, hey Roberto, forgive my ignorance, but how do you approach brand deals? I make art on Oreo cookies and with M&Ms and Rubik's Cubes and whatnot. Should I be speaking with these companies? Kit Slams Art, that's what Sean Duras did, and that's what Cyrene Q did. So with the Snapchat stuff, I would approach the brands directly if you want to work with them, and I would just make sure you have something that's compelling. Wonderlich Drums, do you have any tips on tagging videos? The tags TubeBuddy gives me don't show the ranking of those tags. Wonderlich Drums, reference the video that I did on the tutorial step-by-step on tagging videos with TubeBuddy. The information there should be able to help you out. Study with Me says book sales equals merch sales usually. Isn't one a business? Yeah, it is. Having a book helps you with your street cred, your public speaking, and all these other things. The problem is, and merch doesn't as much, and you can call merchandise a business, but here's the reality. The royalties on them come out the same, and it's easier to design and make merchandise than it is to write a book. Now, a book can do more for you in the professional world, and merchandise will do more for you in the entertainment world. So it's down to, yeah, they make the same margins, which one's easier to make, but which one is easier for you to sell. The argument can be made that it might be easier for me to make merchandise, but I'm more likely to sell a book. More of you will buy a book from me than will buy a t-shirt from me. That's pretty much a given fact. But that's based on the credibility I have with you and the relationship we built. So there's, there's a very practical way to consider these things. Cheryl speaks, can you discuss copyrights, trademarks for merchandise? If you're going to use copyrighted type materials from other brands, then you'll need to use something like Designed by Humans or Redbubbles, because they have licensing deals with like Marvel and the anime companies. So if you're looking to do that kind of stuff, you'll need to do that. If you're talking about protecting your own merchandise, then you'll need to trademark it through the traditional trademark system. S3BTV, hey man, how soon should you start applying for affiliate marketing? Is there subscriber or view thresholds before they will accept an application? Usually there's not. You just have to have a website or something, so just apply and see what happens. Don't worry about it. They usually approve people, and they'll keep you as long as you make sales. Nico Perez, can you give some pricing examples for brand deals and packages based on subscriber count? No, because it's not based on subscriber count. It's based on negotiating. It's based on negotiating. Negotiating, if you're using subscriber count, like, I can't help you, because I wouldn't negotiate as a brand and give you something just because you have subscribers. I would need a more compelling pitch than that. So that's not a way to think about it. You need to really think like a salesperson. You need to think like a brand that has to sell a product, and you have to work backwards from there. I'm going to do a video about negotiating. It's not going to focus on brand deals. It's going to be negotiating as a whole. But if you're not a salesperson, you're going to have to do a lot of education and training to make those brand deals, or you're going to have to join a multi-channel network that can do brand deals, or you're going to have to get an agent or a talent agency, because if you're thinking that you're going to pitch people and close them based on how many subs you have, you're not going to close them. It's not going to work. So you should outsource that and give up 20% of whatever you make to have somebody else do that, because you're not a pitch person. If you're not a pitch person, don't pitch. If you are not a pitch person, get a pitch person, get a sales team, get an agency, and get them to sell for you. Jared Chan, what would a paid strategy look like for an online video course, Facebook and YouTube? Probably making a very good and compelling trailer, but that would be a longer conversation. But it'd probably be a very good video or set of videos. As far as trailers, probably need to set up a free training. Probably have to set up a free training as a marketing funnel, get people on your email list. Geeky Dragon, did you make websites before you got serious on YouTube? Yes. If Amazon denied you on subs, the answer would be to have a website, because they would deny you with a website. Ted Times, how do you get people to truly care about your content as an entertainer or artist? Charisma and talent. Charisma and talent. Some people can do it and some people can't, and that's just how it is. Wonderlich Films, I've heard Social Blue Book helps with pitching yourself and pricing yourself. It does and it doesn't, in the sense that they're just talking about the deliverable. You should charge more than what it's listing. That's just a baseline price for the deliverable itself. and they try to explain that, creators take that number completely out of context, and it's not thought through very much, and that presents a problem. So you can't just go arbitrarily off of the number that Social Blue Book gives with regard to your valuation. You need to think it through more than that, and you need to reevaluate that number. Have you ever thought about utilizing Kickstarter, Roberto? Nah, not really. I mean, Kickstarter's fine. I'm just not the biggest personal fan of it. I'd rather just go direct to market with my audience. There's nothing wrong with Kickstarter itself. It's just not my preference. Excuse me. Gas. Yeah, it's just not necessarily my preference. That's all. CM Gamer, reference my interview with Bijou Mike if you want to grow a gaming channel. I don't really want to answer that one anymore. I'm not sure, truth to be told. I don't think most people have the talent to grow a gaming channel anymore. I think that growing a gaming channel requires you to either be very good at a video game, very good at understanding a specific type of audience, or having a massive amount of charisma, and you'd be a good entertainer anyway. And I think that 99% of people wanting to be a YouTube gamer do not have the qualifications in terms of that threshold of talent, not with the alternatives, because from a viewer perspective, there are so many great gaming channels. It's not that it's not saturated and that people can't break out. It's that if we're honest, most people are not going to be that good at it. It's very hard to be good at a video game and be entertaining at the exact same time. That's not a talent that just anybody has. So I don't think most people can do it, and it has very little to do with YouTube. It has to do with how difficult that thing is to begin with, in the same way that I don't think most people can be a professional athlete. I don't think that to be good at gaming and be entertaining is something that most people have in them. And then on top of that, they'd have to be good at YouTube too. And again, that probably sounds discouraging, and maybe that's not the answer you wanted to hear. If you want a different answer, watch my interview with Bijou Mike Lucas, and if you think you can do it, God bless, do it, crush it, be the exception to the rule. I just don't think that for what a viewer is looking for, that most people will do something different enough and be different and good enough and, be patient enough to grow a gaming channel, because it's really hard to do, and it has less to do with how saturated gaming is and just more to do with how hard it is to do that and do something we haven't seen before that we also actually like. That's a lot of variables. So it's probably the last thing I would try to do. Just being honest on that one. How do you, Ted Times X, how do you get over being a perfectionist? I really want to put out quality content I truly love and that I'm proud of, but I understand to do well, I need to post frequently. You get past it, you make a commitment, you show up, and you keep going. The new Era Mind says, editing with Bluetooth headphones bad. Bluetooth headphones might have a delay depending on what program you're using, so there might be audio syncing issues. So I don't know. It depends on your system. I'm not going to do gaming videos. Let's see here. Shaquique Boy has, how could you grow your channel if you're a vlogger? It's a similar answer to being a gamer. You'd have to have an actual interesting, compelling story and thing that you're doing. You'd have to be something other than a vlogger. And again, you'd have to be wildly patient. Everybody wants to be a vlogger because the idea of just, well, I'll record my life, I'll try to do something, or I'll try and tell a story today. It seems like the most approachable way to break into YouTube. I would question and I would think, why do you want to be a vlogger? And the answer to any type of content, look, here's the answer to how to grow on YouTube. Here's the answer, because like I'm going to keep getting these questions instead of questions on how to make money. Fine. Here's how you grow on YouTube. Here are my rules for growing on YouTube. First of all, understand why you're on YouTube in the first place. Understand what you're passionate about. Understand what you are actually good at, not what you wish you were good at, what you are actually good at, and maybe you combine those things. Most of you will not listen to that advice. You will think about the YouTuber that you love and admire the most, and you'll want to be a copycat clone of them. So most of you aren't going to listen when I say that. It's going to go in one ear and out the other, and no one's going to listen to me, and no one's going to do what they're good at or what they actually know. So fine, that's why people won't grow. So if you want to grow, do what you're good at and what you're passionate about, and then think about the viewer. Think about the viewer. Think about this person who has to give up 5 or 10 minutes of their life on what you want to do instead of what they want to do or something else they could be watching. And then respect that time. And be patient. Don't have any expectations. Here's how you grow on YouTube. Look at your subscriber count one last time and then say goodbye to it and never look at it again for a year, or don't ask me how to grow on YouTube ever again. Don't ask me how. If you're going to look at your subscriber count and wonder why you haven't grown in the first year or a year from now, don't ask me ever again how to grow on YouTube, because you have to ignore your subscriber count. You have to ignore your subscriber count, because if you look at your subscriber count and if you're looking for the dopamine rush from your subscriber count, you're not going to be focused on making your content actually legitimately better. You're not going to focus on making your videos absolutely legitimately better. I did not look at my subscriber count and growth for a dopamine hit or for any encouragement whatsoever. Do you know why? Because my audio still sucked, because I still wasn't doing a good on-camera presence, because I was filming when I was tired instead of when I was energetic, which was a mistake, and because I was still not a good presenter yet. And I knew that. So I was self-aware to know everything I was doing wrong, and I didn't have any entitlement about thinking that my dress rehearsal, while I still sucked at everything, merited or deserved any attention at all or any audience. So what I did at the very beginning of my channel was I took my vanity and my ego and I chucked it. And instead I grilled myself about what I was sucked at and what I was bad at, and I only focused my attention on getting better at that with every video that I produced until I was more satisfied and less disappointed. And I didn't care about getting my first 100. I didn't care about getting my first 1,000. I didn't look up until I had about 5,000 subscribers, because by that time I started to suck less at what I was doing. I felt a little bit more comfortable by the time I had 10,000 subscribers. Not because I had 10,000 subscribers, but because that was indicative of the fact that, I must be getting somewhat better at this by now, because people are still here. So that was what it was. And that's why I got to 10,000 in 1 year. And then within another year, I got to 20,000. And then that year I went from 20,000 to 70,000. Part of that was making more content, but it was also that making more content means I was getting better a lot quicker. If I had done that sooner, it's possible that I would have grown faster because I would have gotten better. Not just because I was making more content, but because making more content meant I was being a better editor, a faster editor, and I was getting better at presentation because I was doing it much more often. So again, if you want to grow on YouTube, stop looking for hacks. Stop looking at your subscriber count. Stop looking at how long it takes. Stop comparing yourself to other channels. Stop comparing yourself to big channels. Stop looking at your homie who's growing twice as fast as you. Just stop it. Just stop. Or never ask me for advice again. I'm being blunt and I'm being snippy, but I'm really frustrated because I see good channels that aren't going to grow because they don't have the discipline. They don't have the mental discipline. They make good content and they lack any patience and any mental discipline, and all they want in the world is a big shout out from a big YouTuber so they can get a couple thousand subscribers so they can feel like they matter, because that's the only thing that's going to make them care about making more of their content, which is nonsense to me, because I spent my entire childhood, I'm 34, I spent my entire childhood and my entire high school career rushing through every single day just to eke out an hour of creating more than what I had. If I could scrounge up another 15 minutes just to draw or just to do something creative, that was enough for me. Just getting to make something, I didn't need other people to see it. I didn't need other people to cheer me on. I didn't need anybody to pat me on the head and tell me I made a good piece of art. I just wanted to make something. I didn't even want to share it with anybody. Okay? And so this idea that you need views or it doesn't matter and that you're not going to be motivated to make another video is nonsense. You either want to make stuff or you don't. You either want to make stuff or you don't. It's binary. If you're a creator, create. If you're a creator, you create. If you're not a creator, I don't know why you're on YouTube. So if you need validation and clicks and all these things to motivate you to create, you're probably, I hate to tell you, you're probably not a creator. You're probably not a creator if that's the only thing that's going to make it worth your while to make something and to put it out there, then you're probably not a creator at heart. Because you know what? Back in the day when I had to go out and buy film to get 24 shots for only 5 of them to come out worth anything, I spent the money and I shot the film. I shot on film. Well, I had to buy sketchbooks, 200 pages, and draw and fill them up, and only 8 things were really worth anything, worth keeping around that I was satisfied with. I still did it. And there was no Instagram to get likes. There was no YouTube videos to demonstrate it. There was no, like, so, you know. So like I said, if you want to grow, make content, show up, think about your audience. Think about your audience. Think about the viewer. Think about what you're good at, what your actual talent is. Think about something that hasn't been done to death just yet, or a way for you to bring a new voice or a new flavor to the market, and it's not the same thing that we're already bored with, but present an alternative. Present an alternative. Bring something new to the table. Have something to offer. Create value. And do it over and over and over again, and you'll be fine. And make something you actually care about. Because then, if nobody else cares about it, you care about it. So that's fine. So that's what you should do. That's what you should do. That's my advice for everybody asking, well, how do I grow on YouTube? And oh, here's the other beauty part. Here's the beauty of it. Here's the beauty of it. I've done 260 videos telling you how to grow a YouTube channel. For free. For free. So, you want to know how to grow a YouTube channel? Great. I have 260 videos. 260 videos. How to grow a YouTube channel. Playlist, it's right there. On the YouTube channel. It's probably closer to 300 videos by now. There are 1,200 videos on this channel. 300 or so of them are how to grow a YouTube channel. And I know that's ranty and it's not that inspiring and it doesn't feel positive. Again, air condition is not being my friend right now. It's not doing what it's supposed to. I'm relying on the windows, and it's not fun to do that under the lights, and like that's not fun. That's not fun. But it's probably the most honest answer you're going to get. It's probably the most honest answer you're going to get from anybody on how to grow a YouTube channel. It's the kick many of you need, because again, it's the kick many of you need because you are focused on the wrong thing. You're focused on absolutely the wrong thing. You don't even need the best equipment in the world. Equipment does matter sometimes, but you don't even need the best equipment in the world. Did you ever spend time promoting your videos? Yeah, I use Twitter. I used Twitter. Frankie Johnny saying that you want 100K like me is why you won't get it. Because that wasn't my goal. It was never my goal. Getting 100,000 subscribers was never my goal. It's nice. Wasn't what I was trying to do. That idea that that's a goal, if that's a goal, it's probably going to mean that it's going to be very hard for you. As long as it's a goal, it'll be out of reach. As long as 100,000 subscribers is a goal for you, then it probably won't be attainable. And that's how it is. And that's how it is. It's more DBZ collector. You're like, you know, like I get where you're coming from, and you're talking about trying, but it's like you need a bigger picture. And if you're talking about $100,000, wanting $100,000 is irrelevant as a goal too. By the way, that's irrelevant as a goal too. That is something you can only do if you raise your value, which is what nobody understands. Even if we're going to talk about this from a revenue generation standpoint, you have to raise your value in order to do that, which requires a tremendous amount of focus and discipline, which means that, you know, it's about building your system. It's about understanding what the demand is. It's about raising your value and also raising your positioning and your scaling. And like, you know, if you're like halfway there, like good for you, but the other half is going to be ridiculously hard. And the thing is, what I'm talking about is mindset. I'm talking about the mindset that it really requires, you know, to go there. It really does. So whether it's subscriber growth, whether it's revenue generation, it takes something much more than wanting it. It takes something much more. It takes much more than just setting a goal. You have to actually build yourself up to something capable of that, and you have to understand what the reality of it is. If you don't understand what the reality of something is, setting a goal becomes very arbitrary, because it's much more like a sport than anything else. And it's about discipline, it's about focus, it's about training, it's about consistency, it's about a regiment, and it's also about having not just a goal, but having a purpose. It's about having a purpose. Bloodsport asks, Roberto, how does one get the mindset of a winner or a champion? You have to understand who you are and be very self-aware. You have to know who you are, what you're good at, what you're not good at, what your strengths and weaknesses are. One of the best foundations for starting to have the mindset of a champion is to do a SWOT analysis. Strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What are my strengths? What am I good at? Where do my skills and natural abilities lie? Where do my interests lie? Weaknesses. What makes me bored? What demotivates me? What am I just have no skill or no talent for, regardless of how much I would want it? Opportunities. Based on my strengths, what immediate opportunities present themselves for me to enter the arena and get an easy victory? An easy victory. What opportunities are available that require much more effort? And then what are examples of people that can help me achieve my desired outcomes? Threats. What what represents a threat to the marketplace? What represents a threat to the industry? How have people in my position or the position I aspire to failed before? What things undermined me? What things undermine me? What has undermined me in the past? What has produced failure in me in the past? By doing an analysis and writing these things down and knowing your strengths, your weaknesses, what opportunities are available, and what threats exist, you have the ability to then build yourself a framework, a series of routines and habits, acquire the necessary resources and allies, and then you have the ability to become a champion. And then you have the ability to become a champion. So you also, if we're talking about directly on the revenue generation side for the 100K, it's like I broke down in the pie charts. You have to diversify. I broke out several ways of approaching diversification, but then you also have to be able to create the value. Create the value, meaning, like I said, if you want to pitch brand deals and sponsors, and you want to do $3,000 and $5,000 packages, you have to break down what deliverables and what does a sponsor get for that $3,000, what does a sponsor get for that $5,000. Not only in terms of access to your audience, but an actual deliverable produced result. And that could be a multitude of things. It just, again, has to play to your strengths. Look at what the brand wants. Look at what your audience wants. So these things all matter, and then you have to do what's the best fit for you. And what's the best fit for me in that model may not be what's the best fit for you. So that's a practical reality of it. Now, Program with Eric says, I think most people won't get to 100K. It's not that, well, most people won't. Absolutely. It's not that they can't. The potential exists for many people to do this, and many people who do it were the same people who didn't necessarily think or believe they could, myself included. The issue becomes, well, why did they fail to do so? It usually isn't just a lack of talent. It's a lack of specific knowledge or a lack of a specific execution, or their rate of effectiveness wasn't good enough. And by that I mean you can be good at something, but are you efficient enough to reproduce that outcome over and over and over again? Because doing something once isn't enough. Being able to replicate that is where the value lies. So I think that's important. So again, wanting it isn't enough. And you need more than a goal, but you also need to understand who you serve and how you best serve them. Phantom of Darkness asks, does getting 100K subscribers really translate into something more than what you think of it, though? It really is just a number. You'll be the same person no matter what the number you're at. Yes and no, because it's predicated on who that person is and what they derive from attention. As an introvert, it doesn't really do anything for me. As an introvert, it doesn't really do anything for me. What it does for me from a business standpoint is practical. It's leverage. What it does for me in terms of my sense of feeling like I contributed to the community and that I was useful makes me feel good, but I don't derive the energy or excitement or dopamine from it than an extrovert would. An extrovert would be much more interested in their views and subscriber counts than I am, because the validation they get from that is more powerful for them. I get more from the comments and the emails and the thank you letters of people telling me that their life is different or their life is better or whatever, because I am now useful. My validation lies in being useful, which is why I'm not an entertainer. So that's part of, I think, where the divergence of, say, an introvert's approach to something like YouTube is different than an extrovert's approach, or the feeling created from success I think is different from an introvert and an extrovert, or it could just be me. It could just be me. But I think that it really does come down to partly an introvert or an extrovert. The Preach says, well, subs can become a mental health issue for some people. They get addicted to the dopamine rush. I agree. For me, sub growth, at best, was a gamification thing sometimes of just testing an idea and seeing what it would produce. And, you know, it's like racking up a high score in a video game. If I do it, I move on. It's like, oh, okay, next. Like, but the interesting thing about it is when I test certain things, most of the time my instincts on it are correct, but it's because I'm trying to figure out what is true. I'm not trying to prove myself right so much as I want to make a determination of what is true and what is not. And then I can apply that information. I guess it's the mentality of a seeker, if you want to think of it that way. Data savvy, I'm not answering that question because it's irrelevant. And it's like my history is that I've been a freelancer and I started building and running my own business. But it doesn't matter because my thing is not your thing, so it's irrelevant. It's just a personal detail that has no value to anybody to know what what's the, I don't understand what the point of knowing any details about what I did sometimes. Unless there's a system behind it, it's impractical because you're not me. It's impractical to know anything in detail because you're not me. It doesn't matter. And again, I barely remember when it was exactly that I hit that number. What I do remember is that I started doing weekly content in 2013, like around July or August. But again, I got like 10K in 12 months. You know what? Like Peter McKinnon did 2 million in 12 months. It's like, but you're not Peter McKinnon and you're not me, so I don't know if it matters. Peter McKinnon quit his day job at 400,000 subs. Like, what does that matter? It doesn't matter. I mean, it's a great story and it's good to understand something about Peter, but it's like it doesn't apply to you. Kevin Drake Fitness. Roberto, I hate social media except for YouTube. Can I build a business only using YouTube? I wouldn't, because YouTube in general is not always going to be favorable in the sense that you don't know what they're going to do or what they're going to change. Usually it's stable, and if you're in the fitness niche, I would argue that you're relatively safe, but I also don't like the idea of putting your eggs in one basket. Even if you have a website and email list, the outreach that you can have through Twitter and how Twitter can scale your views and also grow you and your business is very practical. If you're a fitness person, a Facebook group and Facebook ads could be tremendous for you. Instagram, killer on brand deals for you. I would if you're in the fitness niche, I wouldn't put all my eggs in the YouTube basket. I would have to use these 4 core platforms of YouTube for pillar content, take micro content and unique content into Facebook and Instagram, and use Twitter for community and for outreach to brands and for awareness. I wouldn't go all in on YouTube. I don't think that's practical for most businesses, but especially in a fitness business or a coaching business. Cookie Man, I know what makes me an introvert. I'm very aware of what makes me an introvert. You don't get to tell me who and what I am. Live streaming has nothing to do with introversion. Being on YouTube has nothing to do with introversion. Most YouTubers are introverts. And live streaming from the safety of your home office and your house, in your place of comfort, in your fortress of solitude, is very different than any other thing that you have to deal with when you're dealing with regular human interaction. So I would recalculate that. Again, most YouTube creators that I know, especially the most successful ones I know, most of them are introverts. Being on YouTube, being a streamer, has nothing to do with introvert or extrovert. Nothing to do with it. Not to mention there's a spectrum of introversion and extroversion. A lot of people don't realize that. Kevin Rojas, can you speak more about how to optimize a coaching business? Yeah. Well, for that, let's take a look at some things I did with Awesome Creator Academy for context. Context matters. So with Awesome Creator Academy, what I ended up doing was, in a coaching business, I feel like you should offer a combination of different products and services. So a membership group has a model where you can charge monthly and yearly. So I have the $59 a month mentoring program for the coaching group. It's a group program, private Facebook group and private website with exclusive content, monthly mastermind calls, private Q&As, all that good stuff. Discounts on products. So all of that, $59 a month. But people who do the yearly get a discount, so that saves them a considerable amount of money if they do the yearly. So that's one offering. Private coaching. Private coaching is 90-minute sessions, and that's for a single call. But I also have a premium package for up to 4 calls per month of those sessions with a commitment. And so it's definitely a savings. So that's something that I offer, and that gives you 2 options. Building out a coaching business, this gives you recurring revenue for premium private packages for recurring clients. One-off clients gives you cash flow. The other thing that gives you cash flow is, again, with the membership side of coaching, I should do a course on building, I should do either a course or a training, but it'd be an expensive one, on building a 6-figure coaching business. But being able to do the monthly and the yearly gives you recurring revenue either way. So you have that. Then if you build a course like I did with the Formula for Awesome Videos, it's a specific course, and this is platform independent. Someone who likes Instagram can get this because making good videos is making good videos. So whether you're a streamer or you're doing Instagram or YouTube or LinkedIn, this would matter. And I outline the modules here of the course of what someone can expect, so they know what they're going to get. So that's extremely practical in terms of productizing your coaching business. Now down here, I have another course that is going to be more expensive that is on pre-order, working out some of the kinks on that because the file uploads, the files were formatted in a way that the program didn't want to take. This is the YouTube channel reviews. It's another coaching offer, but it has a different time limit. It's 30 minutes instead of 90, and it's priced differently. And this one is YouTube specific in this case, so getting narrow is important. And you might realize here I built out a little bit of a product ecosystem. These 3 products are YouTube related. These products are not YouTube related. They can be for anybody. That's actually really important. Anybody who wants to build a business or do anything related to digital or social media could join my mentoring program or benefit from coaching. Anyone who wants to do anything video related, regardless of platform, can benefit from this as well. But even if people are into YouTube, they could still use these services. These 3 things are then YouTube specific. Now there are other products that I'm developing that have different things going on with them. So I'm planning a public speaking course, graphics for Twitch, a micro course that'll probably be like $7 on personal branding, 7 videos, $7, 7 points and principles of personal branding. The Instagram graphics pack, I've been doing an early bird for some people for that. So there are some graphics in there, and I did like 75% off. But I rarely talk about that because, again, it's not ready to launch yet. I'm going to redo the branding on this because I like the other branding on some stuff better, so I'm going to do it differently. But I haven't decided whether to keep this social media audit available as a service or to change it to an Instagram page review, which I think is what it will become instead, which will be a similar service to the YouTube review stuff. So I'll do it that way, and that'll be another service. So the public speaking course. So again, I'm developing this product ecosystem that will allow me to have multiple streams of income. Some of it's one-time sales, some of it's recurring products, some of it's products, some of it's service. So it's active, passive income, it's recurring, and it's also one-time sales at a high volume. So those things are very practical to do, and that would be part of the system of how you build out a coaching business. So that's like, so if you want to understand how a coaching business ultimately works, now you should have kind of a framework for it in terms of what that could look like. Oh, excuse me. Is it possible to do audio reviews of equipment with music and still make money? Music is essential for the audio file. I don't know. You'd have to do it and try because it's not my niche. It's not my niche, and it's not one where I would be your ideal target market. And on that particular one, there's ones that I can speculate on where I'm not the target market, but that one is really specific. D the blogger. I'm a blogger, but it seems so saturated. Should I consider PR agencies to assist my brand on YouTube? Not PR agencies. You should get YouTube coaching. I'm a YouTube certified expert. Tim Smoyer is. Daryl Eves is. Nick Niman's good. Sonny Lenarduzzi is. There's plenty of people that can help you. Yeah. Kevin, the window cleaner. Roberto, I need to add content just outside the window cleaning arena. Any suggestions? Kevin, you know, you've run a business. You can talk about your success in running a business, or again, you could talk about something you're passionate about. I would consider those things. Wonderlich, you have to read the details. The mentoring has opportunities for one-on-one sessions, usually in the form of discounts or getting to ask me one direct question. That's not the same. Channel reviews are a different service. Tips on improving your channel is something that the group participates in as a whole. So that's how that would work. And again, you could try it for a month, and if you feel you're getting value, you can stay. If you feel that you got what you needed after a month, you can leave if you didn't do the yearly. I'd recommend the yearly just because of the tremendous discount that it is. So that's what I would say take a look at. We got a few super chats. Milo, Psychic Medium says, I'm soft English psychic growing a channel. RD big YouTuber friendly. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure what that means. Podcast Stage, how are you? Podcast Stage. Hey Roberto, just want to say thanks for your great and helpful content. Keep up the great work. Appreciate you. Appreciate you too, buddy. Thank you. Let's see. I think there was another super chat that I didn't see earlier. Where is that super chat? See if I can hunt it down. Kicks Art, sponsor tips for a sneaker drawing basketball talk channel. That's super specific, Kicks Art. That's super specific. I would look at find your competitors in that niche and find out who's doing brand deals with them, because that sounds so specific that off the top of my head, I don't know what you would have to offer a sponsor if that's what you're doing, because it's weirdly specific. And I don't know who is throwing money at that right now. So you'd need to take a look at who do you think shares an audience with you and who's spending money to sponsor them. Program with Eric, $5 super chat. Thanks for the honesty, Roberto. Thank you, Eric. Appreciate you. Rachel Lee, $3. Great advice. Keep being awesome. Thank you. Program with Eric. What is a healthy amount to get paid for a small YouTuber for sponsorship 10-minute video? I do 1,000 to 2,000 views per video in tech. Program with Eric. Look at something like FameBit. The reality is, if I was a brand in the tech niche, I probably would only offer you a free product for that. That's just the way I would probably do it. And what my experience with brands tells me is you're probably not going to get paid, but you would get free product. But it'd probably be a free product that has under $200 in value. Avidin Smith, $5. Just showing support. Thank you. Keep doing your thing, man. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much. Awesome. Luxury card store. Do you think there's any value in becoming Google AdWords certified? Not really. I think you just learn Google AdWords. That's good enough. I don't know that the certification is that helpful unless you're going to go into the industry side as a consultant. Wonderlich, it's not an upgrade from the monthly to the yearly. It basically just means that you'd get another month. Yeah, it basically just means you get another month, or that I would work out some kind of bonus for you or something. It's like, it's not like that where it's, you know, an upgrade type scenario. David says, do you think a person in poor English can be successful on YouTube? I would say not in an English-speaking thing. I would say stick to the language of your origin if you don't feel competent in your English. The English-speaking market is not patient. Roberto, rather than say I want 100K subscribers, I think it's better to just say I want to help, inspire, educate, entertain, etc. as many people as possible. I mean, it might be better to say that, but is it being honest? Is it being honest? Because again, people, if they want to be YouTube famous, they should just say they want to be YouTube famous. I'm convinced that's exactly the wrong mindset. I'm 110% convinced. But I would also rather people be honest about it, because then their mindset can be adjusted and corrected by the well-meaning people around them, and they can reevaluate. But I want people to be honest, and if the answer is like, if people want to be rich, just say it. If you want to be lazy, just say it. If you want to be famous, just say it. Now, when people call you out, or when people try to correct you on the things that are presumptuous about that, you either can take it or you can't. But I would rather people just be honest, because I don't like the pretentious answer when it's not true. When it's not true of, oh, I just want to, because the thing is, if you're going to say I just want to help, inspire, or entertain people, then you have to say why. You have to say why. Primary example, why do I want to teach you guys about how to make money online? Because I was a broke college student, had to give my friends IOUs for $5 in gas money back in 2002, back when $5 actually could do something for your gas tank. Hint. I felt disrespected by my teachers because I was working my butt off full time to pay for community college cash because I was so averse to debt and hated the idea of starting my adult life in debt so much that I was willing to work to pay cash. And sometimes I couldn't pay for a full semester. I would have to pay for half a semester, but I was paying to be there. Unlike a lot of people who either borrowed money or got help from their parents, I was paying to be there. So it meant that if I was there and I was in your class, but I was dead on my feet and half asleep because I just came off of working a double shift, I felt like, why are my professors disrespecting me when I'm fighting to be here, unlike most people, and they just want to crap all over me because they feel I'm disrespecting them. They know that I work to be here, unlike everyone else, like full time. Like I was the only one. So I don't want other people to go through the pain and the indignity and the embarrassment that I had to go through because I was underpaid, overworked, not getting the most out of my potential, and being disrespected left and right at every turn in life. I was getting kicked in my face and put down by everybody. I don't want that for people. It was painful, it was embarrassing, it made me depressed, it made me suicidal. So when I make content and I tell people how to make money, when I tell people how to use social media, when I tell people how to build community, when I say I want to inspire and motivate and educate people, you can believe me because I can tell you exactly why it actually matters to me. And I can tell you the reason it matters to me is because I lived a life of quiet desperation for a long freaking time, and I don't want that for you because I know how much it sucks. So it's not just never again for me, it's never again for whoever I happen to be capable of helping. So if you need an origin story, if you need a reason, if you need a motivation as to why I do what I do, that's the reason. So when I say I want to inspire people, or I want to help people, or I want to motivate people, it's because you can believe me and that I'm not full of crap because I went through enough. I went through enough to justify me wanting better for other people. So, so that's, if you're going to say if you're going to say you want to do something, you have to back up why it matters to you and why it matters to other people. Why it matters to other people. And knowing your why. Simon Sinek wrote a great book called Start With Why. That's how you determine your purpose. And I believe fundamentally that there's no good reason that the majority of you, to get a high-paying skill, have to start your life $80,000 in debt. I don't think you have to start life $80,000, $120,000 in debt in order to get a high-paying skill that can help you and give you access to resources and to a better life. The internet provides access and learning to those high-paying skills. If you want to be a dentist, if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, then go to college and start out with that debt because there's a possibility that it'll work out. But if you want to do something else, you want to be a photographer, you want to be a filmmaker, you want to be a writer, you even on some levels, even if you want to be a programmer, then guess what? You can actually do those things and learn those things through the internet. You can learn to be a web designer, you can learn to code, you can do all these great things. And you don't need a traditional education model to facilitate that goal of yours. You can do it for yourself. And I believe in that. And so I think that people should take advantage of the access to resources, tools, and the technology of their time. That's certainly what I did. That's certainly what I did. So I want more people to be capable of that. Geeky Dragon says, what if you want to be a teacher? I mean, do you want to be a teacher in a classroom and have your parents and your grandparents respect that and call it a noble profession? Or do you just want to pass on what you've learned? If you want to pass on what you've learned, you don't need a degree and you don't need any red tape. Start a YouTube channel, teach something. That's what I did. If you want to be heralded as a noble professor or teacher and all those things, you want society to accept you as an educator, go to school. So, you know, that's what your answer is. So, you know, I mean, so when people say, oh, I want to do this, or oh, I want to inspire, or oh, I want to educate or motivate, or whatever it is, like, get to why. If it's you saying it, then tell people your why. If someone is saying it, I would say challenge them and ask them why that matters to them. Let's Cook with L. Can I monetize a dedicated sponsored video on YouTube? You can if the brand agrees to let you do that, then yeah, you can. There's no reason you can't. Poetic Geeks TV, are affiliate programs really profitable, worth it? If you're good enough, yeah. If you're good at selling, then yes. If you have an audience that will buy things, then yes. Notorious B, Roberto, always great to catch your live streams. Appreciate you putting this perspective there. Thanks so much. Appreciate that. Anyway, that's it, guys. We're 2 hours. We're not doing 3. How am I feeling? V reacts. Tired. Tired. 2 hour live stream will do that for you. Anyway, I'm gonna go grab some food. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for everybody who did super chats. Thank you to anybody who bought the YouTube starter kit over at Awesome Creator Academy. Discount code small YouTuber in the description for a limited time, only for a limited time. So make sure you're checking that out. Check out the products and services, see if any of that can help you. Thank you to our friends at TubeBuddy for sponsoring today's live stream. Always appreciate my friends over at TubeBuddy for helping us out. Use the link in the description and discount code Roberto's Buddy at tubebuddy.com/awesome. Links, of course, are always in the description down below. Also, we have one last super chat. Metal for breakfast. How are you, my friend? Hey, Roberto, any sales and marketing tips that would apply to growing Patreon community? Also, see you at Vid Summit, dude. With Patreon, I would say that making the offer very compelling is important. And if you're not going to do a sponsored thing, consider giving that sponsored type slot to promote your own Patreon. And again, I would look at like what Philip DeFranco did to make his profitable beyond just saying, oh, could you please donate? He really made it worthwhile for his supporters. So I would just I would think about that, and you know, that's how I would say that you can grow that Patreon community. Having a Discord server is another good incentive. Being very active in Twitter can help. So I think all of those things are good. I'm probably going to talk to some people and do some interviews of people who've done very successful Patreons that do a couple thousand a month in Patreon, and then that'll probably help with good advice. So that's something I'm going to look into. Abe Martinez, $5 super chat. Thanks, Roberto. Thank you, Abe. I appreciate you. All right. Where'd my pop-up chat window go? Ah, here it is. Let's see. Dignity says, you're right about skill development outside of academia. Yep. Super important. Definitely super important. Team Autismpedia. Thank you, Roberto. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you. Your vids are helpful. Awesome. Thank you. Pogo M, I love all of you. Thanks for the motivation, practical, and positivity, my friend. Thank you. I do try. Even when I'm a little on the frustrated side, I do try to make sure that I'm giving as much practical advice as possible. And, you know, I try to keep it positive while being realistic, because I don't think that everything is as easy as people think just because it's accessible. I think that there's a difference, and I try to get that across. Sarah makes art. Roberto, I'm thinking about Amy Landino's videos on how to be a successful introvert and networking for introverts right now. Amy says she's an introvert too. She is. Amy is an introvert, but she's also outgoing, and that's entirely possible to be an outgoing introvert. I definitely identify as one myself, and Amy's awesome. I love Amy. Her husband Vincenzo is also a really good dude, and I don't necessarily feel that he's an introvert, though. I would probably say that Vincenzo's more extroverted, which is interesting. Introverts tend to couple with extroverts rather than other introverts sometimes, which is fascinating to think about. Anyway, thanks so much, guys. 2-hour live stream, so we gotta end it here. I gotta go eat. Anyway, guys, thank you so much. Use all the resource links down in the description, and I will catch you on the next one. Probably got a video coming out tomorrow, but definitely I have a video on negotiating coming out Monday. You won't want to miss it. Anyway, guys, go out there, create something awesome today. Take care.